There had been a fresh infiltration bid that has been foiled by the army at LoC in Keren sector in Kupwara in North Kashmir. One suspected terrorist has also been gunned down in that firing, and we are being informed this firing was between army jawans and the suspected terrorists. Arms also have been recovered from that location, and arms include an AK rifle, and ammunition search operation still on in the area. All right, so we know that the state of Jammu and Kashmir remains tense. On one side, we just brought you the information that ceasefire violation continues, fresh ceasefire violation and shelling from Pakistan border side, and this was in the Akhnur sector. But here we're also being told that an infiltration bid in North Kashmir also has just been foiled right now. We'll keep getting you further details on the same. Now, just days after India and Pakistan had initially what seemed to be an agreement for a truce along the line of control and the international border, especially with regard to the holy month of Ramzan, 2 BSF jawans, however, were martyred in that ceasefire violation by Pakistani Rangers in the Pargwal area of Akhnur sector in Jammu. 13 civilians injured in firing and have been rushed to hospital. BSF also seems to have given a befitting reply to Pak Rangers in retaliation to the heavy shelling. Watch this report.
Glaring proof of Pakistan's border treachery. Days after Pakistan's military agreed to implement ceasefire, another provocation. This time round, Pakistan targeted Akhnur sector along the international border in Jammu. 2 BSF jawans martyred as Pakistan's army pounded Akhnur's Pargwal village. A final goodbye to the brave hearts.
All the villages along this Karnataka sector, they were targeted, especially the GD belt. And this time they extended the range of shelling, and particularly the village of Shamachak, it was targeted.
Forced to retaliate, the BSF destroyed over 10 border posts of Pakistan's Rangers, inflicting heavy casualties.
Right now I'm standing near the international border in Akhnur sector, and all through the night Pakistani Rangers have been resorting to indiscriminate firing and shelling in the border areas in Akhnur sector. And a short while back also a mortar shell exploded right here. If my camera person can zoom in, he will show you. You can see a mortar shell exploded right here.
ये जो सल हुआ वो अभी रिसेंटली हुआ, सुबह से लगातार फायरिंग हो रही है. ये अभी कोई आधा पौना घंटा पहले ही इसका हुआ सेल फटा है जहाँ.
This yet another betrayal by Pakistan came days after Islamabad agreed to a 2003 ceasefire pact during a hotline conversation between the militaries of the two nations.
बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट है जो बॉर्डर पे सीजफायर वायलेशन हुआ और जिसमें हमारे अभी तक 2 BSF के जवान भी शहीद हो गए और कई हमारे सिविलियन भी जख्मी हो गए. ये नहीं होना चाहिए, पर इसके बावजूद हमारा ये मानना है कि यहाँ भी लोग मर रहे हैं, उस तरह भी लोग मर रहे हैं.
Unprovoked firing and mortar shelling began at midnight on 10 border posts. More than a dozen civilians were injured as Pakistan targeted civilian areas again. The residents of Pargwal have been shifted to safer locations.
ASI और एक जवान जो BSF का है, उसकी भी डेथ हुई है. लेकिन वाकई में दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है जिस प्रकार से पाकिस्तान का रोल रहता है, और हमारी सुरक्षा में भी उसका मुंह तोड़ जवाब दे रहे हैं.
Pakistan's border dare comes as an audio tape of Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar has surfaced. The most wanted terrorist is heard mocking the Ramzan ceasefire announced by the centre.
भी परेशान होंगे कि कश्मीर से जंग बंदी की खबरें आ रही हैं, फायर बंदी की खबरें आ रही हैं. तो जब जैश आई, जो बंदी आई, तो वहाँ फायर बंदी होनी थी नहीं होनी थी. दोस्तों ने फायर बंदी नहीं की, जैश के लिए जगह छोड़ी है.
Clearly, the Pakistan army and the terrorist groups are working in tandem. They plot to push terrorists into Jammu and Kashmir. Repeated provocations and betrayals by Pakistan have taken off the sheen from Ramzan ceasefire in Kashmir. India can't change its neighbours, But many believe New Delhi can clearly do more to keep the rose state in check. With Kamaljeet Sandhu and Sunil G. Bhatt, Bureau Report, India Today.
So why is there no stop in these border ceasefire violations? Who will take accountability? Who will take responsibility? Let us debate and discuss. Defence and security analyst from Pakistan joining me right now, Qamar Cheema, and also our defence expert from this side of the border, Major General G.D. Bakshi. First over to you, Qamar Cheema. Tell me this. Political tensions aside, the fact is civilians are dying, civilians are living in fear, and there are these Jawans as well who are only doing their duty, were at the border and are getting killed for no reason. Now when India had decided to put forth this plea with regard to a ceasefire, at least during the next few days, couldn't Pakistan respect that at least for the holy month?
Well, we were expecting here in Pakistan that since Mehbooba Mufti has asked the center that India must show restraint and should go for ceasefire till Ramadan, and we were expecting that will go after Eid al-Fitr, and then after by Amarnath Yatra we were expecting that will go by that. But unfortunately, Pakistan military has been showing exercising restraint, and
Not
it was
at all.
Pakistan that offers ceasefire
Not at all, sir.
back in 2003. And right now, even the Pakistan's DGMO contacted the Indian DGMO for the ceasefire. Now, why would Pakistan would go for violating for the offer we have given to India?
What will the contact do, Qamar Cheema, if the ceasefire continues? If the civilians are killed, do you expect Indian forces to just keep sitting up?
The point is, by next year, this insurgency in India will be of 30 years, and India want to link this insurgency with the LoC violations to give an impression to international community that look, whatever is happening in India, in Jammu and Kashmir, that is linked on with the LoC.
But
so
it is. But it is.
India and international
Masood Azhar gives out an audio clip, Qamar Cheema. He says that Jaish-e-Mohammed is prepared. Pakistan has expressed that it is going to interfere with the Kashmir issue. So India is not trying to tell anybody anything. It is all for facts on record to see.
It is Pakistan that has been offering ceasefire. India never offered ceasefire. It is Pakistan that has been asking for formal.
It is on record, sir. It is the Indian government, Indian forces.
To give a legal shape to 2003 ceasefire agreement.
Okay.
India never agreed. It is Pakistan which asked that NSA talks should be out of this comprehensive dialogue between both the countries. We have been approaching India, telling international community, India does not want to talk, and now this again violation of LoC, very unfortunate act by Indian authorities.
Sir, you can call it all unfortunate all you want, sir, but the fact is civilians are dying on this side, the forces personnel are dying on this side. Let me take that question to Major General G.D. Bakshi. I can understand that we are retaliating as much as possible, but also have we gone wrong, sir, in our policy? In the state, there is violence. In Kashmir Valley, people are dying. So is the situation terrible in Jammu. While we are battling border violations, has our union government also, at some level, failed terribly with its policies?
I'm afraid the way to hell is paved with good intentions. It was with the best of intentions that we had offered this ceasefire against all professional advice that Pakistan, as always, would take unfair advantage of this. Unfortunately, all those predictions have come absolutely true from day one of the Ramadan ceasefire. The Pakistani army hasn't stopped firing. We then had the talk between the two DGMOs, and it was agreed to quieten things down. And here you are. The Pakistani army does not seem to be in control of its own lower units. There is again the firing.
No, but Qamar Cheema is saying Pakistan approached first. What do you say to him? What do you say to him? He is claiming that it was not India, but Pakistan to request for ceasefire.
No. He approached first because when we retaliated, they had to cry uncle. And therefore they approached that they wanted it stopped. But it appears that a part of their own army is not listening to their higher command, or they are just trying to, as always, Pakistan is a peripheral state. There is the Jaish-e-Mohammed. Please ask Cheema Sahab to take a look at that tape from Pakistani soil. The Jaish-e-Mohammed chief is threatening that this ceasefire is an opportunity for us to
Mr.
inflict
Cheema,
more
do you want to
damage on
respond to
India.
that? Go ahead.
Well, I will just tell Qamar Cheema, don't be too sanguine. No, let me finish. May I tell Qamar Cheema, don't be too sanguine. There could be more coming your way than you have bargained. Don't tempt fate. Don't push this
Qamar Cheema,
country
go ahead.
beyond the
Respond.
point. That's all that I would tell you. Do not push this country beyond the point. We have made every effort to make peace with you.
Well, I would like to remind Janab Bakshi, and as thank you very much, you reminded him that it was Pakistan's DGMO that contacted Indian DGMO.
I didn't remind him. I was telling I was putting your question to General Bakshi.
Thank you very much for doing my job, you know. But
I was just putting your question. Do not misquote me, Qamar Cheema. Yes, now respond.
GD Bakshi must understand that we were, after this ceasefire, you know, we were expecting the CBMs to come on, confidence building measures between both the countries, and the foreign secretary level talks to be there. The point is that the center is not taking the pressure of Mehbooba Mufti. Mehbooba Mufti is too weak that her advice for center is not acceptable, or the hawks in center sitting in New Delhi are not going to accept that whatever the advice that is coming from from Indian occupied Kashmir, that right now you need to talk to Pakistan.
What Indian occupied Kashmir are you referring to, Qamar Cheema? I mean, let's not go there. In fact, when Mehbooba Mufti showed that humane side and very clearly said people are dying on both sides, Qamar Cheema, let this debate, Qamar Cheema, let this debate also seem to at least have some solution apart from bickering. People are dying on that side as well. As a defense and security analyst, what do you suggest? What do you think needs to be done? Let's think of people on both sides.
Well, you know, since I'm teaching in university and I better understand the aspirations here in Pakistan and in Azad Kashmir, people are here. People really love to engage with India if India shows some signs of love. But unfortunately, what we see from India, hostility, aggression, we want to cooperate.
But India doesn't interfere. If there are terrorists in Pakistan who are releasing an audio clip, while Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister says, let's try and have some peace, there are armed forces, Army Chief is focusing on that. If Masood Azhar gives out and releases these clips, there are other terror groups releasing clips stating that they are preparing to come down. They are not going to look at anything like a ceasefire. Why do you think India needs to just have a moral ground all the time?
Let me remind you, it is New Delhi versus Islamabad they are talking. It is not New Delhi and Masood Azhar. The point is there are hawks in India, then definitely there are hawks in Pakistan. Let both the federal governments in India and Pakistan need to talk. We need to negotiate. We need to engage at all levels. The point is, since India has asked for comprehensive dialogue, when Sushma Swaraj ji came in Pakistan, when she went back, and the bureaucracy in India actually scrapped that comprehensive dialogue.
Well, I don't know why everything is wrong with India all the time for you, Qamar Cheema. That is the problem there. That is the problem there. Are you living in denial? I don't know. But Major General GD Bakshi, what do you say to him? Yes, please respond.
Can I also have my say, please?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
You know, Qamar Cheema, I am very sorry for the people of Pakistan because you have never tasted true democracy. 30 years plus your army has controlled directly, and for the balance of the time it has a democratic facade, and from behind the stage the deep state controls everything. The deep state, that is the Pakistani military ISI complex, has a vested stake in conflict and strained relations with India because this is what gives it primacy in Pakistan. I am sorry for you, the people of Pakistan. Even now, we had offered the Ramadan ceasefire. It started with us, right? We had said that let it be a peace-building measure. Let there be quiet on the LC, quiet on the IB, quiet within and without Kashmir.
Well, that's true. Gentlemen, please hold on. I just want to get in a view.
In keeping with what your army has
I just want to get in a view from a correspondent on ground, because let's remember, apart from all these discussions, there are people living there in fear. I'll come back to you, sir. I'll come back to you. I'm coming back to you, sir.
Can I just finish?
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Major General, please.
What I am trying to remind Qamar Cheema is, Cheema Sahab, पिछले 30 सालों से, for the last 30 years, your country has waged an asymmetric war against India. First in Pakistan, where about first in Punjab, where about 21,000 citizens were killed. Then from 1989 onwards in Jammu and Kashmir, 45,000 have been killed. Then your D Brigade and Dawood Brigade and the gang started, you know, terrorist incidents all over India. Another 15,000. In total, we have lost 80,000 Indians. And if you think that it can just go on, the bloodletting can just go on in India, you can keep bleeding India with 1,000 cuts, as your own people have been saying. I'm sorry, you are mistaken. There is a limit. There is a limit to our patience and to our restraint.
And how many requests and pleas can be put? There was seemed to be an agreement of ceasefire. Yes, sir. I understand what you're saying, but again, my concern also remains people that are living at the border, and it's never easy. It's never easy, especially at these times. Also, political apathy that they say they're also facing. Let me get in a word from our correspondent on ground, Sunil G. Bhatt, who had also got us a ground report. Sunil, you tell us, what is the situation on the border? Because Kamar Chima says it is the Indian forces that are constantly shelling Pakistan. You tell us what is happening from the other side, and how are people living in fear? Sunil.
Well, Pooja, Pakistan has been continuously targeting civilian areas. Even children are not being spared. Last week, you saw a 7-month-old baby being killed by a Pakistani sniper bullet. So Pakistan is resorting to brutality and barbarism at the international border. It's not even respecting basic human values. And as former U.S. Secretary of State Madeleine Albright had said after 26/11 that Pakistan is an international migraine, and it is again proving that it's actually an migraine not only for India but for the entire world. Pakistan is currently a safe haven for the globally designated terrorists like Hafiz Mohammed Saeed, 26, who is also a 26/11 mastermind, and it has failed to act against some of the most dangerous and most dreaded terrorists, and it's actually providing them shelter, and also it's sponsoring terror groups who are working against India. And Pakistan's very foundation has been hatred against India, and that is why you see that even during the holy month of Ramadan, you can see that Pakistan claims to be an Islamic republic, but see, even in the holy month of Ramadan, it's targeting innocent civilians, and it shows the real face of Pakistan. It exposes the real face of Pakistan before the world.
And also the fact remains that well, India is only retaliating to what Pakistan is interfering in India's internal matters. Nevertheless, Kamar Chima and Major General G.D. Bakshi, thank you as always for coming and giving us your time and giving us your perspective. Let's just hope that beyond these debates, there are civilians living across the border, and there are forces personnel as well, and that there shouldn't be any casualties. And Indian forces are, as always, on alert to retaliate when required.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.